Right guys, hope you enjoy this show. It's going to be brilliant, I'm sure. I know it because it's us and that's what we do. But if you want even more of our amazing content, either in video or podcast form, simply head on over to redmenplus.com. Subscribe today. It's a bit like Netflix for Reds. Amazing content, documentaries, features, interviews and a whole lot more. Yeah, go on over to redmenplus.com. Come and join us for another unbelievable journey with Jürgen's mighty Reds.
The Starting 11 prediction show. So those of you who are viewing this on Twitter, do head over to YouTube, the Redmen TV, and do come and watch me predict the Starting 11 as the Reds prepare to face Wolves in the FA Cup at Anfield on Saturday. And to kick everything off then, let's start with who is available and who is not available. Jürgen Klopp has just had his pre-match presser, and to be honest, I was going to go with a totally different team. And I was probably going to have a lot of rotation in there for the younger lads. But what Jürgen said in that presser has made me just completely change my mind. I have not got a clue what Jürgen Klopp does when we're playing well. I don't know what he's going to do for these when Liverpool are playing well. Never mind when we're playing absolutely appalling and, you know, we're already out of the Carabao Cup. So, yeah, let's first of all start with the players who are not available for Jürgen Klopp to select from. If there are any players I've missed or you want any, you know, well, if you want to help me in predicting the starting lineup, which I will need some help with, do put it in the comments of YouTube. I will be talking to you. Scouse African says, hiya, nice to you. Right, let's get into it then. Out of the goalkeepers, I'm pretty sure everyone's available. Whether half of them are going to be in the team or not, a different thing. Moving on to our defence then. We obviously have just heard in Jürgen Klopp's press conference that Virgil van Dijk is going to be out for at least a month, which is good news. Especially with how our defence is at the moment. But yeah, Virgil van Dijk for the foreseeable future will be not available. Moving on then, I'm pretty sure he is actually only our defender who's out on this board, which is a bit surprising. Moving on then, Milner still is out. Jürgen Klopp didn't give any indication that anyone who was already injured before this game was back, aside from Jordan Henderson. So I will be keeping Jordan Henderson up on the board. Naby Keita is such a weird one. He's down here. He was not in training, but no one, not a single journalist thought to ask in Jürgen Klopp's presser if Naby Keita was sound and available. So for now, I'm going to keep him there. It affects me starting lineup there in a bit, whether he plays or not, due to him not being available in training. Moving on then, we've also got out, and Firmino, obviously, he's one of them who's out. There is more players out here. Let me get my lovely little trusted. I did actually, you know, get ready for this, obviously. Kate Gordon's out, obviously, but he's not on here. That's a long-term injury. We've got Diaz, Jota still out, both of them miles from coming back anytime soon. So the big three players that are out are Milner, Firmino and Virgil van Dijk from recent weeks. So yeah, I'm going to put these over to one side. And before I do get into the actual starting 11 from all of these players, we've got an unbelievable series out on Redmen Plus right now called My Liverpool Debut. All episodes are live and streaming now, so do go and take a look at this.
My Liverpool Debut, a new series, exploring where it all began for a number of Anfield favourites.
We had that belief and nothing was going to get in our way, nothing was going to stop us. I was just fortunate to get my chance.
I'm about to wear the red strip for the first time and play with all the wonderful talent that I was in awe of.
And the travelling Liverpool fans started singing my name. You can imagine how special that felt.
Football saved my life.
It was amazing to be part of that lineup with that calibre of players.
I knew I deserved to be there. I knew I deserved that chance. I knew I was ready.
I'm Jamie Carragher.
I'm Phil Thompson.
I'm Martin Kelly.
I'm Jim Beglin.
I'm Neil Mellor.
My name is Bruce David Grobbler.
And this is my Liverpool debut.
Yeah, welcome back. Do check out that unbelievable series. Absolute brilliant work by everyone at Redmen TV to get those interviews and to put them in a collection of unbelievable episodes for you, so do go and check them out. The free one is on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's Jamie Carragher. Just go back a couple of months and you can watch that one to start off. But now let's get into the predicted lineup. And here is where I am slightly confused, because Jurgen Klopp in his press conference just then said that there will be no rotation. And I was ready to put in about 5 youngsters maybe. And now I'm completely stumped and I'm about to go full strength because Jurgen Klopp said, due to the fixtures and the schedule, that we haven't got that many games to play, and therefore we can play our strongest lineup, and we will do that. So starting in goal, this is a very easy one for me, actually, even though he did say full strength. I am going to start Kelleher in goal. He deserves to be there. He's always going to be there in these games. And you've got to keep him happy with giving him some sort of game time, and this is the game time that he's going to get unless Alisson is injured. So yeah, in goal I have gone with Kelleher. I don't think anyone's going to object to that one, but who knows? Let's soon see. Moving on to the back 4 then, there is one spot here that I'll leave to last where I just don't know what is going to go on. We've got between these two at left back, and something tells me, I mean, both of them only played 45 minutes against Brentford, and Robbo was the better player for me, and therefore I'm going to go with Robertson. I really am. For whatever reason, Jurgen Klopp has made me think that we're going full strength, and I'm actually doing what I'd rather prefer and what I'd like the starting lineup to be, rather than what I think he actually might do. So for me, I'm going to put Robertson ahead of Costas for this game. Costas has had opportunities here and there. Robbo was obviously injured, but he obviously wasn't injured enough that he couldn't play 45 minutes. So I think, 70, you maybe take him off and put Costas on, but I am starting with Andy Robertson. If anyone wants to object in the comments, do go for it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm starting with Robbo as my left back. As my 2 centre-halves then, we've got 3 to choose from due to Virgil van Dijk being injured. And if we're being honest, Konate had a shocker of a game against Brentford. He was took off at half-time for Joel Matip, who played better, and we had a lot more of the ball. He was a bit more influential going forward as well. But yeah, Konate really struggled against Brentford for whatever reason that may be. Maybe he's played too much footy. Then again, he didn't play that much for the French squad in the World Cup. So I 100% think Matip's going to start, and I'll move him down here. I 100% think Matip's going to start. I'll start with this one. This is the choice that I'm not 100% sure on. Something tells me that Gomez could potentially play right back here, which does make it easier in terms of saying you play all 3 centre-halves. But then you've also got to take into consideration that the other player, who is Nat Phillips, who I've just absolutely disregarded because I don't think he's going to play. He might play, who knows. But I wouldn't play Nat Phillips at the moment in time. Not against him. Our centre-halves haven't been brilliant at all so far this season, so we could have very well started. But for me, I want one of these 3 players to play, well, 2 of them. So I think Gomez, due to what I'm going to do at right back, I think Gomez, for me, starts. He comes back in the lineup. The last time he played was at Manchester City, I'm pretty sure, in the Carabao Cup final, where we did lose. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have a horrible game. So, yeah, I think he comes back in. They're my 2 centre-halves. Konate maybe comes off the bench. Who really knows? I just think after his struggle midweek and the fact that Gomez, hasn't really played for a little bit, I think Gomez comes in, and that's all due to the fact that Trent can play right back and probably should, because he's had a month off in Qatar. I just don't think... I think if there's anyone out of this back 4 who's going to be rested, it's going to be Trent. For whatever reason that may be. I mean, he gets a great assist against Brentford, but aside from that, didn't really do much. He wasn't as attacking as we'd like to be, as involved. Defensively, it wasn't all his fault. I mean, the entire defence was shocking. It wasn't all on him. But I think he does get a rest, and I think Calvin Ramsey goes in at right back. It is possibly, these are the times where Ramsey is going to get minutes, and I think that right now is the time. Give Trent a little rest. He's alongside experienced players, Matip, Gomez, and obviously Robbo on the other side. And I'd start Ramsey. We can obviously keep Trent on the bench. Who knows? There's times where he's came on so far this season and he's actually played more of a wide player. I think it was City at home actually he came on and it looked like he was much more attacking than he was defensive. So that is my back four for now. Do get in your comments. Let's see what you all think first before we move on to the midfield. If anyone objects, I'm Sam with changing it around because I truly am sat here stunned with what to do because Liverpool just aren't playing good at the moment. We're out of the Carabao Cup, we're out of the title race, we're in a top 4 race, but there's not enough games there at the moment where you need to drop and rest every single player and rotate. And I think we have to win, really. If you want a chance of a cup this season, obviously we've got the Champions League, but that's Real Madrid. It's a much harder road. Wolves won't be easy, obviously, but at home, I think we shouldn't have to change that much as we have a week's rest in between that and our next game, which is Brighton in the Premier League. Mr. Red has said Kelleher, Robbo, Matip, Nat and Ramsey. I could see that. I could see Nat instead of one of these. I mean, it is probably right that that's the changes that he makes, but because he said there's going to be no rotation, seeing 2 people rotated in the back 4 already would be a bit of a surprise when you also include Kelleher there. But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying about Phillips, but for me, he just misses out of the starting lineup. I mean, you're also missing out Kanate there for me, which is a problem as well. But that is my back 5. Kelleher, Robertson, Gomez, Matip and Calvin Ramsey. Be really good to see him. I'm quite excited for that. But moving on to the midfield then, another place where I have not got a clue what the hell Jurgen Klopp is going to do. And the simple reason is because I just feel like we have to go for it. I feel like we've got enough rest to go for it. Luke Chambers was also in that. I did hear a rumour about him being in the matchday squad. So that's why I put him on the board. I don't actually think he's going to start, but he might. So he's in some sort of role. But yes, moving on to the midfield then, we've obviously got to pick from Jones, Elliott, Bajcetic, Thiago, Hendo, Fabinho and Naby Keita. Let's start from the top then. Jones is one that I don't think of, like, really at all. He came on against Brentford, didn't really do much, but then again, what could he have done with the time he was given and the way we were playing? So for me, I haven't really thought about him being in the squad. I think the place to start, as we all know, Thiago's magnet isn't very good. Yeah, so that just keeps coming off. That'll be fun in a minute when I move him. I'm just going to put him there. Starting at CDM then, or defensive midfield, whatever one you want to say. People get annoyed when I say that. It is between Bajcetic and Fabinho for me, and I think Fabinho starts. I just think we're going to go full strength pretty much. Once again, I think Fabinho's been one of our best players since coming back from the World Cup break. He looks better. He wasn't at fault for a lot of it through Brentford. It was the other players around him. He actually didn't perform that bad. And I think he keeps his position. Once again, Jurgen Klopp might have just sold me a dream in this press conference saying that there's going to be hardly any changes, and that might happen. But to be honest, I want to go full strength, so I'm doing what I want, not what Jurgen wants. So I am going to put Fabinho in there. I think Bajcetic is absolutely boss. And when he came on against Aston Villa and got his goal, you'll maybe see what I'm thinking in a minute. I think he's a superstar. I do think he's going to be brilliant for Liverpool. And any other time, he'd probably be substituted in there for this game. But I might have him in a different position yet. You don't know. But yeah, Fabinho start for me in defensive midfield. Moving on to the right side of midfield, it's pretty simple. Jordan Henderson is back. We could have over here Harvey Elliott or Henderson. I think Elliott's played far too much football at the moment. Before the World Cup, he was possibly one of our best players, if not our best, alongside Alisson. And I think he's been brilliant. But since coming back from the World Cup, you can kind of see that he's played a little bit too much football. There's absolutely no saying that he can't come in off the bench. But for me, Jordan Henderson, he had concussion. He was back in training yesterday. He's back to heading a ball today. And I think he slots straight back into midfield. After a little bit of an absence, give Harvey Elliott a rest. Take him out the limelight, because I've seen some people fuming online at Harvey Elliott, as everyone does these days. And I don't know what for. He's a young lad who's been thrown into it. We haven't got the backup in midfield, so he's had to play most games. And it's always going to catch up with you when you're, 19, 20, playing in the middle of the park for Liverpool Football Club. So yeah, Harvey Elliott doesn't start ahead of Jordan Henderson for me, but he will obviously feature on the bench. Moving on then, the left side of midfield, and here's where these three come into it. And to be perfectly honest, once again, I didn't think of Curtis Jones in this team. If I was going to put him anywhere, he'd be maybe up here, because we've seen him play left wing, and the times he's came on, he's played left wing. I think it was Nottingham Forest, he played left wing as well. So for me, it's between these two. And we love to give Thiago a rest, we really do. I don't think he's been brilliant. He's been... Oh, God. Jesus. City's just waking up. I don't think he's been brilliant since coming back from the World Cup. And once again, he might be playing a little bit too much. So I am going for Stefan from the beginning. You can always... The thing I don't like about playing all of these midfield three at the same time from the off in a game like this is because you've got no one really who's come off the bench to influence it, saying that Bajcetic did such a thing against Aston Villa. So for me, I'm going to start Bajcetic over Thiago. I think he's in the good books of Jurgen Klopp. He's a very, very good player, can do that role, can get forward. And yet he might be seen as a more defensive player, but he certainly wasn't in that Aston Villa game when he came on, and we really needed to kill the game off. So yeah, Bajcetic completes the midfield three. Get in what you do. Obviously, once again, I'm going off Jurgen Klopp saying that this is going to be full strength. But Thiago, obviously, I'd like him to come off the bench and be able to influence the game. You know how good Thiago is. When people are tired on 70 and we've tried to run them into the ground, saying that that's the old Liverpool, not the Liverpool of this season at the moment. Adding Thiago in to just unlock the door and cause, you know, the little passes that players can't see will be really, really good. So I am starting with this midfield three. And on to the best part. We're going to go to the attack, and I'm going for excitement, and that is it. I do not care what Jurgen Klopp thinks, but if I don't see this front three, I'm going to be really sad, because I cannot wait to see this front three together. I hope the Reds can create more chances than they did against Brentford, because I'm really excited to see what I do here. We've got a lot to choose from. Obviously, Chamberlain, who's came in, did get that goal against Brentford, wasn't the worst of the front three. He was more involved in the game than Salah and maybe even Darwin Núñez. He's done fairly decent. He's obviously not your chosen pick. It's not what you want. And also Chamberlain, playing as many games as he has so far, it's not very Chamberlain-like for Liverpool Football Club in recent years. So I'll put him up on the board. Whether I'll play him at left wing is a different one. Moving on, we've got Ben Doak, who came on in that Aston Villa game, sat Luca Dean down on his arse and was just absolutely electric. Really excited. I think he'll be a part of this squad. Whether he starts or not, we'll get to that in a minute. Moving on to Carvalho then, a player which I'm stumped over because... Once again, he's a bit like Curtis Jones at the moment, because I was so excited about what I actually want to start on this board. Carvalho didn't really come into my mind when it comes to playing off the left wing, because Ox has been above him every single time so far. So yeah, maybe Carvalho has a head start over Ox in that case then, because of rotation. But aside from that, you know, I haven't really thought about him at the moment in that front three. Moving on then, we've got Naby Keita still on the board, which, by the way, I've got no idea if he plays or not, if he's even in the squad. Núñez, if he could bury one of these chances, I'd absolutely love him, even more than I do now. So exciting, but please put one of them away. One of them. Out of the 7 that you get in a game, just one would be lovely. We've obviously got Salah, who we didn't get enough service to, wasn't really involved in the game against Brentford, and you could see that. Hopefully, you know, Wolves are struggling at the moment. Hopefully, if he does play, he can, you know, be a bit more influential. That's the Salah that we know. And then we've got Clark up top, which I had to include because it is, you know, very much, we could do a lot of squad rotation, that is a thing. Whether you play or not, I'm not... I'd really like this to stop doing that. I don't know whether he play or not, but I've included him anyway in the front lineup. And the last player, the player that we all really care for, the player that we're all here for, is Cody Gakpo. And I think there's only one place to start by me saying Cody Gakpo is 100% playing for me. He is available, he's ready. Jurgen Klopp said he might not be, you know, at his strongest fitness, but I don't care. Give him 60, give him 70 minutes and then take him off. Don't make me wait to see Cody Gakpo. Let him get the standing ovation going off the pitch rather than coming on, please, Jurgen. So he will play. Where he'll play is a different matter. I'll get rid of the players to start with that I don't think, well, I wouldn't put in the starting lineup, and that's Clark. Might feature from the bench, but for me, not right now. Moving on then, Ben Doak. I really, really like him. I really like him. And I don't know what happens here. So here's where the correct positions, what they actually are. Left wing, striker, and right wing. Full strength, full strength. Do you put Núñez up here? Do you put Gakpo there? Do you put Salah there? It is, either way or not, Gakpo's starting. I'd like to do what I would like to see, and what I would like to see is very much this. I would like to see that as my front three. Now, whether Jurgen Klopp's bold enough to do that in a game against Wolves in the FA Cup, I'm not too sure. I mean, there's no point in Salah really picking up an injury, but he's a machine. He can go and go again. I'm also talking about these players, you know, a lot of them haven't been that big in the World Cup, so yet they did go away, but they haven't been playing football, they've been training. I really don't see. I mean, Salah had a lovely time off. Salah can go again, right? Maybe. Maybe not. Callum put, surely you swap Gakpo and Núñez up top. Yeah, you probably do. You probably take Núñez out the lineup, out the limelight for missing chances. But what strong lineup? Yeah. Do you start Ben Doak? Does Salah start? This is the thing. How many changes are in a strong lineup? When Jurgen Klopp says there won't be much rotation at all, I for some reason believe him when he's talking to the media. So, someone put, Brandon put Gakpo is left wing. I think he can play left wing, but for the Netherlands squad, he's been playing up top in their World Cup games. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, I'd put Núñez on the left and put Gakpo up top. I'm not too sure. We've got Gakpo as a winger, Gakpo left wing, Núñez striker. Okay, well, we can do that then. I'd rather, you know, see what he's about up top like he was for the Netherlands, but 100% we can do that. Okay, so we've got Gakpo left wing, Salah at the moment, and Núñez at striker. Anyone want to change this so far? What is Carvalho's best position? Danny says, I think his best position is here. I don't think he's got the pace to be a left winger in a Jurgen Klopp system. Coutinho didn't really, but he always cut inside. I liked Carvalho here. I think Newcastle was the Community Shield. He was very good when he came on and he played pretty much this role. So that's what I'd put. Tom says Doak for Salah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. This is what I actually think will happen. But I'd really like to see Salah, Gakpo and Núñez. Would you not? I mean, it doesn't care. Jurgen's not going to go with this lineup anyway, so we might as well have a bit of fun. Ox in midfield, longer range to kick things off. I mean, who are you taking him out for then? Stefan? He doesn't really... Every time I've seen Chamber, he's played on the right, and Henderson's had a little bit of a break. I mean, fair point, he's played a lot of games now. Whether you risk him again, because who knows, these will probably be rotated around. Let's see, someone probably need Casado. We need several midfielders. When we'll get them a different. Salah out for Doak. No point risking him. Salah's a super sub. Okay, yeah, Sound then? Well, this is what I'll go for then. I'll keep Nunes and Gakpo because they've had a lovely little friendship in training. Some lovely photos coming out of there. And that is what I'll do for my starting lineup. We'll move them further into the board so we can just now quickly run through the substitutes. I think you can have 9. I'm not really too sure, to be perfectly honest. That's what I'm going to go with. Anyway, I think you start with goalkeepers, which is all the way at the bottom, conveniently for me. Right. Do we have enough players now where we don't actually need 2 goalkeepers, right? There was a time where there was 2 goalkeepers constantly on the bench for us. We've got Adrian as the backup to Kelleher. I just think you give Ali the night off, I really do. What's the point? What is the point? Just give him the night off. Then we've got as our, well, centre-back I'm going to go with, obviously, Canate. I'm also going to put on Costas in there. Trent. Is that enough centre-halves though? Who knows? I can add more as I go, really. Then for midfield, I'm obviously going to have Harvey Elliott included in here. Carvalho, you know, attacking-wise would be good. Salah is obviously going to be on in a minute. I'm looking right now for Thiago. I'm just going to assume that Naby Keita's injured because he wasn't in training. He might actually start, but he wasn't in training. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7. So I can only have 2 more subs. That is proper sad, that. Obviously, Salah's got to be... Does he just leave Salah out the team completely? Give him a night off? I mean, Harvey Elliott could easily go there and be that substitution. Carvalho could easily go there and be that substitution. Is Salah getting a night off? What do you reckon? Get in the comments quickly and tell me. Put Canate in instead of Gomez. I would. Do you think Gomez is going to play right back? When is Gomez playing if he's not playing in this game? That's what I think. Because, I mean, you could rotate them, but with a game with an entire week between games, I'm not too sure you do that. And if you put Gomez right back, when's Calvin Ramsey getting a game? This is why it's so hard to do this. Oh my God, JD74 has put no Salah starts, in my opinion. Guys, I haven't a clue. I'm going to put him in for now. And one more player I am going to put in. It's between Ox. It could be between Nat Phillips, to be honest. We've got... I feel like I need another midfielder. Ox or Jones. I mean, they're both going to be on the bench, so I've not got enough. But that's what I'm going to go with. Do take everything with a pinch of salt, by the way, because none of this is going to be correct. Absolutely none of it. But if I saw this team, I'd be quite happy. If I saw Salah in there as well, I'd be even happier. And to be honest, if I saw some of the youngsters in, I'd equally be as happy because a lot of the main senior players haven't been doing it enough for Liverpool. But that has been the starting 11. Don't care what the team is, just win Liverpool, please. Not another weekend absolutely ruined on a Saturday night. Do not ruin another Saturday night, I beg. But yeah, nice one for tuning in. Hope you have a boss weekend, and hopefully, you know, the Reds make it a little bit better. Till the next one, up the Reds.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like on the way out. Did you know you could get some hoodies, t-shirts and any accessories from redmenmerch.com? So head on over there now and grab yourself something.